I sat down with these 11 speedrunning based creators to essentially build the ultimate speedrunner. I asked each runner 9 questions and had them answer with who they felt related best to the question asked. I do want to clarify that each answer is purely opinionated, with each person not having to give a reason why, and there's 1 or 2 simplistic questions in there, but the idea was to ask more open based questions in order to get mixed answers and truly dwell into different speedrunners' minds. By the way, this video was recorded in late January, but enjoy nonetheless. With that being said, who is the best at crafting?
Just raw speed. Dougal or Priffin is probably up there. They just spend a ton of time in the crafting practice maps. I had to give 1.
Yeah, if you have to pick one.
I'd say Dougal, just because he doesn't use the book.
In my opinion, the best crafting is probably Priffin.
I would say probably Priffin.
I don't know if there's been someone who's mentioned what tab crafting is, but it's really hard. And there's 2 people that stand out as doing that like easily the best, and that's Silver and Loki. And I'm probably gonna say one of them for another question later on. I'm gonna say Loki.
Probably Dougal, I guess.
I think in crafting in general, Priffin is like far and above everyone else. Maybe Dougal is close, but I don't think it's that close. I think Priffin's kind of the GOAT.
I'm gonna say Silver runs.
Probably Silver, I'd have to say.
The best at crafting, I'm gonna say Rowell.
In my opinion, is hacking noise.
I'll just go with the person who has the crafting map world record, which is Dougal.
With only 6 different names being said, we got a joint winner of both Priffin and Dougal, with 3 votes each for this category. This then followed by, who is the fastest Nether portal builder?
See, this one might have just a correct answer, like someone that just is the fastest. I am going to say Silver again, because I know that he is constantly practicing. If someone brought, sort of like another runner in and said this person averages better than Silver, then I would be open to that.
Oh, that's actually a tough one. I'd say Dougal.
I think that Silver is super consistent with like fast portal builds and is also up to date a lot.
I'm gonna say Hacking Noises is the best portal maker. Hacking Noises is a very mechanical player, incredibly fast. Actually, I'm changing my answer. I'm gonna say Dougal. The portal you make the most is a lava ravine, and I think Dougal is the best at that. Even if hacking might be a little bit better at like placing obby and stuff, but getting to the nether is more important. I'm gonna say Dougal.
Hanabi or Silver? I'll say Hanabi.
That's pretty hard to say, but probably someone between Dougal and Silver, I guess.
Gotta pick one.
Probably Doug.
I know their name's like Obvrak, Obvrak, I think. Any Setsi player will just gap anybody. I mean,
100% Loki.
Can I hypothetically say myself?
I mean, I feel like I have to give myself something. There's like the portal that pretty much everybody uses, and the world record on that portal that like mostly everybody uses is tied with me and Loki. And also, like, I don't know, like personally I've just practiced like a ton of portals. I just spent a ton of time on that. So maybe me, probably me.
I mean, Evan Keen is really fast, like sometimes, but I don't know if he's very consistent. I'll say Evan, because I think that's kind of a funny answer.
After finding the mode amount yet again, Dougal came out on top, however this time it tied with Silver runs at 3 votes each. Who has the best in-run composure?
Silver.
me. Like, I mean, okay, I get nervous, but like way less than other people, I think. Just because I've done so many tournaments and been on so much pace and stuff, I feel like I can just always lock in. And I just feel like I never really choke in end games or anything like that.
That's probably like someone like Feinberg, because he has so much experience in the game.
I'll say maybe has pretty good in-run composure.
I feel like Zalanox is someone I've watched a lot of, and I've really never seen him get nervous or like make any mistakes due to nerves. I think he like stands out as someone who's just like super locked in.
Best in-run composure? I'm gonna say Silver for that one.
Oxy is like a very consistent player, and if you look at like her placements in the ranked seasons, it's like all top fives every single season. So I'll probably give it to Oxidiot.
Dougal and Priffin. If I choose anyone, maybe Dougal.
There's a lot of people that you could say for this. I think for me, I'm going to go with Feinberg. The reason I'm going to go with Feinberg is because he has one of the best tournament records, and I think tournaments are very, very high stakes, and you just absolutely need composure for that. Also, with his AA, that requires a long period of, nerve management towards the end of the run, because it's a very long run. There's a lot on the line. So for me, I'm gonna go Feinberg.
No Fear is pretty consistent, I'd say.
I'd actually say maybe Feinberg. I know that's probably not like a very common answer for that question, but that's the one that comes to mind. I never really thought about Feinberg having in-game nerves or whatever.
With a total of 8 names being said, Feinberg takes this category with 3 votes. And essentially linked to that question, who has the best game knowledge?
I'll probably say Raul. Raul is probably someone who's gone through a lot of different play styles and just has a lot of like game knowledge and experience in running. I'll say Raul.
Pyro.
Leon, he's very good at all advancement and all achievement category. He's very cool player, even is old version like 1.12 and 1.14. So I think Leon is best at game knowledge.
T-Wags.
I'm going to say Feinberg. Feinberg plays all advancements. Feinberg is a very technical player, obviously mechanically incredibly gifted, if not the most gifted player. But the fact that he's just so good at AA, and literally the entire leaderboard for AA is him, just shows how much he knows and understands the game in so many different levels. So I would go Feinberg there.
I think Griffin.
If you include AA, it's 100% me. If not, I mean, yeah, it's just got to be me. I feel like I just know so much random shit about Minecraft and everything. Also, I mean, maybe like Mime or Silver. I don't know like what Dougal knows, you know what I mean? But I know what my friends know because we talk a lot. And I know that Mime did an absurd amount of research into the game for Lockout. So did Fyro and so did Silver. But I also just know so much about a lot of random stuff from being on the mod team for a while. You get a lot of tickets of people asking if like random bugs or glitches or just random texts are allowed. And then just I know a lot about a ton of different versions. I'll say myself again. I'll gas myself up again.
I guess I would say my boy Matthew Bolin. He might not have as much game knowledge that is specific to speedrunning as some speedrunners, like how to build, like do certain bastion routes or something like that. But the in-depth analysis and mathematical understanding that he has of Minecraft, I think is worth mentioning. And so for me, I'm going to say Matthew Bolin.
I'll probably say Feinberg.
If it's like active speedrunners, I'll say someone like Feinberg, but if it's just like in general, it might be someone in the technical community, like Crafter Dark, or I'll say Crafter Dark.
I'm just going to say Feinberg, because like all of the categories that he's done, all of everything that he's played, and just how his brain works, he just knows like so much. He just knows so much.
Once again, Feinberg wins this question, however this time round with 4 votes. Who is the best at decision making?
You know what? I'm going to go No Fear on this one. I think No Fear's decision making is really, really strong. He's like maybe, and I say this knowing that I'm so much worse than any of these people, but he's maybe like a hair mechanically behind people like Dougal or Silver or Loki, but he's still able to perform at such a high and consistent level because of his decision making. But I think it shows in his former world record. Like, not a lot of people are hesitating as little as he did in that run. He did an incredible job. So I'm gonna go No Fear.
I'll say Cube for this one.
The best at decision making is, I think it's Feinberg.
Feinberg. Maybe Silver. Yeah, let's say Silver. Let's say Silver, actually, for that one.
Yeah, I'm just going to go Feinberg again. I think Feinberg's game sense in general is very good. And I think that his mechanics are good, but I think what really makes Feinberg special is that he really does make the correct decision a lot.
Feinberg.
If you're talking about tournament decision making, probably is like me, but then I also threw really hard in the recent ranked tourney, so maybe I fell off. But if you're thinking about like all of like general speedruns, you can like look at Dougal. He has like K4-hour world record. His decision making with like resetting, he got like 2 sub-9s in like 12 hours or 24 hours or something, just like ridiculous, just absolutely crazy. Decision making, probably Dougal.
Definitely Feinberg. He's always making good decisions.
Loki. I think it's Loki or Silver. I think I'll say Loki.
I feel confident in my decision making, but I wouldn't say I'm the best. Maybe I would go with I want to say Zalanox again. I think he has a really good balance of like consistency and risk taking. I don't know. I think just Zalanox is someone who really stands out as like really smart in the decisions he makes and always like knows like what to do in each situation.
That would also be me. I think it was just always the edge that I had over a lot of people. Like, I don't really have the mechanical edge over people nowadays, especially that I haven't played any percent as much like in months, and I'm kind of just done with it. But in ranked and all that, I'd always have the edge over people and just knowing like what to do or where to go in every sort of situation, like where you're entering the bastion from and stuff like that. And I mean, just in AA, not even close with the consistency and the amount of times that I just like find biomes more than everybody else. Like it can't be a luck thing if it happens all the time. But it's very close. Like, and people have gotten a lot better with ranked recently. Like, I don't think if I was playing in the playoffs this season that I would win. Partly because I haven't played in a while, but partly because people are just good now. Like, much better than what the gap was like a season or 2 seasons ago. But I still would give it to myself.
Yet again, winning this round was Feinberg. However, this time with a whopping 5 votes. To switch it up a little, who is the best at routing the nether?
The thing is, like, at the top level, and I'm really looking at ranked a lot for these because ranked just has that, like, encompassing kind of RSG speedrun skill.
That's
like,
right,
you
yeah.
can just do a lot of things and you're very good at everything. So, like, if we look at all of the top runners for that, then for the most part, everybody's pretty equal on that. I mean, some people will gain some advantage sometimes. I feel like generally I can gain time in the nether. I'm pretty confident. Like, if I'll lose time in the overworld, then I'll gain time in the nether, and I'll gain time in end games. But I think the person that does this even better than me is 7raw. I think his nether decision making is like really, really good.
I think it's Silver.
Zalanox.
I mean, that might just have to be like either like a toss between Loki and Silver again, because I feel like decision making is like almost the same as Routing the Nether, or they're very similar. So I'll say Loki again, but there's a lot of people who could be there.
Yeah, let's say Feinberg again. To be honest, when you asked the question about decision making, I was thinking about nether routing, so I feel like I'm just gonna apply the same logic and say Feinberg.
I'll probably say Silver. Just was really up to date. I haven't seen him play too much Archie recently, but I mean, even compared to like the best like runners at their best now, I mean, he was just so good at knowing how to route everything. Had great nether movement.
Let's say Dugile again.
Let's go with Silver. Silver makes good decisions a lot. Which bastion routes to do, how to play dynamic and forts, stuff like that. We'll go with Silver.
I'm gonna say probably Silver. Yeah.
I'm gonna say Loki for this one. And there's a lot of people that are really similar, but I think Loki is just such a monster mechanically. I mean, he won the ranked tournament. Until proven otherwise, it's hard to not put him number 1 there. And I remember in the best of 7 against Silver, it was like Loki would be ahead in the nether and then Silver would catch up, and it was crazy. So I think right now it's got to be Loki. He's just really, really clean in that first half of runs.
Probably no fear, considering his world record run.
And finally, switching it up answer-wise, with a name prior said, Silver Runs wins this category with 4 votes. Who has the best in-run consistency?
To be honest, it's probably just Dugile. Most sub 10s, most sub 9s, most sub 8s. Like, not really close. He's just really consistent at getting good times.
You know, I'm gonna say Loki. Loki winning the playoffs for me is a really good sign of consistency, and also being very, very good in ranked is just a consistency thing. And just because he's so good at ranked and so good at in the ranked playoffs, I'm gonna go with Loki. That's gonna be my answer.
Run consistency, I'll say Dugile.
Silver.
It's Dugile, I guess, because he's always getting good RSG pace. He has so many sub 9 and sub 8 records, so I think it's Dugile.
Feinberg.
Has to be Dugile.
I think I might go No Fear again. Honestly, I think he's really consistent. I think a lot of consistency also, you could think of ranked as consistency as well, where you might go someone like Feinberg or Silver or Loki. But I think just in an RSG setting where you're actually resetting, trying to get the seeds, I think No Fear is one of the players that just shreds sub 10s consistently.
The most consistent player at getting pace is probably the one who plays more than anyone else, and probably No Fear, I guess.
I would say myself from AA and just the K4R stuff that I've done. Like, it super recently, again, my resume just gets a little weaker because I haven't played any percent, but also at the same time, none of these any percent people are playing AA either. So like, in that sense, their resume is weak because they couldn't do what I do in AA. Like the top couple playoffs people, I don't think I'd win, but there's no way they're catching me in AA. It's just like, what do you value more when you're thinking of the rankings?
I will say Feinberg for that one.
With only 5 different names being said this time round, Dugile comes out on top with 4 votes, just above Feinberg with 3 and No Fear with 2. Following this, I asked, who is the best at routing the stronghold?
I don't really know, but I'm just gonna say myself because I've been trying out like a new strategy recently, which is basically using thin to preemptive, but not just using it like at the beginning of the stronghold, like using it everywhere. And I think that actually gives me like a solid edge. And as well as like I've been speedrunning for a really long time, so I've gone through all the iterations of Stronghold Nav, so I know like every detail of Stronghold Nav, and I've tested and done preemptive so much to the point where I feel like the gap is probably basically nothing, but I think I maybe I'm probably the best at it.
I'm gonna say Rowell.
I feel like there's a lot of names that I could just throw in here that would be pretty similar. And so I'm just going to, kind of assign the person that I think I would absolutely trust more than anyone else, which is going to be Hacking Noises. I think is going to be my answer for that. I know that he's a very well-rounded player, so I'm going to go with Hacking Noises.
It was really fucking difficult because like everyone's pretty good at it these days. Really, no one stands out, man. President Poundcake.
I feel like there is like no way to measure that, but I'm pretty good at it. I think I'm probably the best. I don't know.
I want to say Xylonox.
Well, I don't know about this because stronghold routing is completely RNG, even you're using the preemptive thing. But if I choose anyone, is Silver.
Ooh, silver. Yeah, I'll say silver.
I'll say Jade or Pony, and she's done a few things, or Mimi, but she has such incredible knowledge of preemptive and routing in general, and she's made a document recently about preemptive that I think no one knows all the things that she knew. So definitely her.
This one for sure used to be me before preemptive was a thing. There's a stronghold practice mod, and I am the benchmark. The guy who made the mod asked me to run through the stronghold and give time benchmarks for how fast you could get through rooms and stuff. And if you were running the stronghold, it would tell you if you were on pace or not. But nowadays, I still do get an edge, but it's not as insane because preemptive is so good. It's so close though. Preemptive makes everyone so consistent. Let's say No Fear. Why not?
I think I'm gonna go Dugile on that one. Dugile is, again, we talked about people who are good mechanically. Dugile is really, really good at knowing preemptive and doing preemptive very quickly and rotating very quickly. And he's balances that with being consistent. If it was just like pure speed, maybe hacking, but I think Dugile is slightly more consistent and it's not like noticeable speed wise. Like it's just fractions. So I would go Dugile on that.
That's the most variety of answers we've had yet, but with Silveruns being the only person to get more than one vote, more specifically 3, they win this category. Then to round it all off with my favourite question, who has the best end fight composure?
Again, I'm going to go with No Fear.
Dugile. Dugile has done some absurd things with Zero that have been just incredible recently, and I think he's just been on the top of it for a little bit. Dugile's been doing something where he double beds in Zero, but like does it incredibly early to get like insane damage, and it stops cycles, it saves seconds. He's won ranked games over it. I hope he pulls it off in the playoffs coming up. I'm gonna go Dugile. It's just so cool watching him do Zero stuff in the end.
The best end fight composure, probably Camo.
Let's say Silver. He just practices Zero so much. And when you're that consistent, even on God pace, you'll hit it.
Raynex.
End fight composure. I have a lot of picks I could go with this, but I think that Oxidiate is one of my favorite in terms of like consistent good end fights. I've seen her play a lot of ranked, and she's just so consistent at Zero. Always goes for it.
Yeah, let's go Loki again. Very similar reasoning to before. You need that composure to win ranked, and you need to do a lot of end games to win ranked, right? So I'm gonna go with that. He's shown his ability to win an entire playoffs, which required a lot of composure in the end on very high stakes. And so for that reason, right now I'm gonna say Loki.
I think I'm gonna lock in Raynex for that one, just because he hits so many like crazy zeros, and I can't tell if part of it's probably because he practices a lot, but I think he's also really good at like changing his zero setup in the moment. Like you could probably say like Camo or someone for that as well, but I don't know, Raynex just has a lot of instances where I feel like he makes good end fight decisions.
Silver.
My pick is Loki, but at this moment, most time runners are very composure in end fight.
Okay, the only person that I haven't said that I feel like I should say or should put somewhere is Loki, but Loki just has a very wide arsenal of strats as well. He knows like all of the side setups, all of just everything. So yeah, I'm gonna say Loki.
And then the off in style, we see a new name winning it, Loki. If you're interested in the full stats, you can see them on the screen right now. But all in all, our ultimate speedrunner consists of Priffin and Dougal's crafting, Silverrun and Dougal's nether portal building, Feinberg's composure, Feinberg's game knowledge, Feinberg's decision making, Silverrun's nether routing, Dougal's in-run consistency, Silverrun's stronghold routing, and Loki's end fight composure.